Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very senior and respected professional from the world of design from Miami, USA, Ann Lopez. Ann, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Anne is the founder and chief executive officer of Studio 790 Interior Design. She's an interior designer, a speaker, and a business coach. And given the amazing work that she's been doing, understandably, she's been awarded, recognized, and felicitated several times. So, and before we come to Studio 790, a few questions for you. You left a 20-year luxury hospitality career at 40 to start Studio 790. What was the defining moment that made you make the leap?
I think it's a couple of things, but as we get older, you start asking yourself the question like, am I living out the purpose, the mission, the calling of my life? And
Right.
in your 20s and 30s, you're not probably thinking about that. And so I had that moment in my mid 30s, and it kept with me. And I kept asking the question, and I felt I'm called for something else. I
Mm,
know I'm supposed to be doing design, even though I had no background and no formal training or anything like that. But I
mm,
knew I was meant to own a business, and so you see other people taking a lot of risks, and I was inspired by those people, and I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. So
yes.
yeah.
Well said. Well
Yeah.
said. And you were self-taught in design. How did you overcome an imposter syndrome, if any, in the early years?
Yeah, there was imposter syndrome. I would be lying if I said there wasn't.
Hmm.
I think the way you overcome and the way I overcame imposter syndrome is
Mm,
by doing. The more you do, the more steps you take forward, the more confidence that you build,
yeah,
that eventually the proportion of imposter syndrome goes down. And then you
absolutely.
realize, you know, even though I was way far behind, and I am still far behind many designers and many business owners, I can see myself growing, and the data speaks for itself,
Mm,
right? So when I started getting more clients and people, started to recognize our firm, I felt like, okay, I'm onto something here.
mm,
There must be a talent because people are paying me to do this. So,
absolutely.
and so it wasn't, I didn't have it very long.
Mm,
I was blessed to be able to stay busy and keep going and building building the steps to
mhm,
increase my confidence. So,
how
yeah.
wonderful. And starting from your dining room table to a multi seven-figure firm, what was the toughest phase of your journey?
I think the toughest phase of the journey has been the growth.
Mm,
It's been the best part of running a business. That's all.
hmm,
When you have a business and when you're growing something from nothing,
mm,
you want that growth. But I don't, when you grow, I don't know how to do a lot of the things in the new season. And
mm,
I know I have more seasons ahead, and I'm going to be in the same position, but the
mm,
growth, understanding when to hire, understanding the right type of people to hire, the
mm,
right positions in the firm based on the needs. The growth is the hardest part.
mm.
Yeah, there's pain, there's real growing pains. That phrase really means something. So for me, it's been the growth.
Amazing. Let's
Yeah.
come to now the Studio 790 interior design. You grew your revenue by 80% in a single year. What is the background behind the name, and what were the three strategic levers behind this absolutely incredible growth?
Yeah, I think when I think about that growth and growth overall, it's usually never one thing. It's
Mm,
compounded over time. There's an
absolutely.
ecosystem of efforts
Mm,
that I put in, my team has put in, and you eventually get the win. It might take a year, it might take 5 years, but if you're doing the right thing strategically for your business,
Mm,
you have to be patient because
mm,
we're playing the long game. So when I think about the specific things that led to that growth in that year, I would say number one are marketing initiatives.
mhm,
I come from a digital marketing background of 20 years and
mm,
I value it. I prioritize it. It is something that really matters in I think any business owner's world, but specifically for interior design. So
mm,
our digital marketing efforts that we do on Pinterest, our website, our social media, our email marketing, all of those things are compilations to get new clients.
mm,
And that's the other piece of it, right? Well, it's new clients, but it's we get a lot of referrals and a lot
mhm,
of repeat business.
mm,
So that specific growth had to do with the amount of repeat customers and referrals that we were getting. And what does that really mean when you unpack it? It means you better be taking care of your existing customers,
mm,
have a spirit of excellence, making sure that you're leading a business with financial health. All of those things
mm,
would make a client say, I want to do business with them again. When I'm ready
mm,
for my next project, it's going to be a no-brainer. I'm going to hire them.
mm.
That's what's happened as we've continued to grow the business. We're getting a lot of the repeat and
Mm.
repeats, referrals, marketing,
Well
and good
said.
attitude. Good attitude the whole
Absolutely.
way.
Absolutely. Very well said. What
Yeah.
system did you put in place to move from a designer to a CEO?
Mm, that's a great question. I would be lying if I said that I have the perfect systems today.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the systems I've put in place are the right people. It's systems matter absolutely when you're growing a business. And as if I want to go from operator to owner, I have to have systems, right? But I have learned that the systems require human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't talk about AI unless you want to. I
Yeah.
believe in AI, we use AI. But
Mm,
in the end, as I think about how I've been able to go from designer to owner and have the margin to be able to do the things that I'm doing to lead the business with strength, it's really making sure I put smarter people around me, the team, I delegate, I trust them, they do their jobs. That frees me and also giving clarity to
yeah.
their roles as a leader. Then that frees me to be able to do the things that grow the business that, I want to achieve
Mm,
as an owner of the business.
amazing. And what is your philosophy on building and leading high
Mm.
performance teams?
Building and leading starts fundamentally with having a value system and a mission so that everyone is really clear on where you're going. If
Mm-hmm.
people don't know where they're going, it's going to be hard to lead well. The people are going to be it's going to be harder for them to follow you.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a really clear mission at Studio 790. We have 10 values that we say every staff meeting. It's language we use all the time. So the team is
Mm,
really familiar with that. I think setting the foundation again in any business is critical. When you set the foundation and then you live it out in action,
yeah.
brand values are not just words you put on a wall and you look at once a year. They're
True.
actually for when you need it in the tough times, right?
Correct.
One of our values is serve joyfully. We're in the customer service business with human beings.
Mm,
It's hard to always serve joyfully because we're dealing with people and some people can be cranky and some people can
absolutely.
be hard to manage. However, if we're always focused on joy first, chances are we're going to be leading and building a really good organization with health. And that's
Mm,
really important with leadership and getting people to sign up for what you believe in.
great response.
Mhm.
And what does multiplying what's in your hands look like in practical terms? And give me an example if you can.
Multiplying what's in your hands. I'll give you a very practical example that holds true for any business owner.
Mm,
So, what's in my hands as a business right now? I go to the example that comes to me right now are our clients.
mm-hmm,
And if I think about multiplication, that means, okay, we have an existing client. How do I get that client to multiply? I have to foster the relationship. I have to deliver on all the promises we've told them.
Mm,
And I have to massage the relationship so much so that when they're ready for their next job, they're going to call us. It just
mm,
happened recently. I've
mm,
stayed in touch with one of our largest clients, and I've built the relationship. I do check-in calls, and I have asked them, do you have more business?
mhm,
I want it.
mm.
You have to be direct and you have to
Yeah,
ask for what you want because
yeah.
everyone's busy. Everyone's busy. You can't sit around if you want to actually grow a business and lead with
Mm,
health. You can't
mm,
sit around and think that your existing clients are always thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about me. They're doing
mm,
their own thing. They have their own life. They have their own everything, right? And so I think that's a really important thing. You have to look at what's in my hand. What clients do I have right now? And how do I be direct? Because I've built a trusting relationship and just ask them, I
mm,
want more business from you. I love working with you. Do
mm,
you have anything else for me? Maybe
mm.
not now, maybe later. And right, I know when they're ready, they're going to call
They
me.
will ask.
So that's
That's
multiplication. That's the easiest way
absolutely,
to multiply.
absolutely. It's a very powerful message you're giving to all our viewers and listeners. If you want something, ask for it.
Ask for it.
Absolutely. Very powerful message. Thank you. And your firm has been featured in Architectural Digest and HGTV magazine. How important is PR? And you did mention a few minutes back that you are from a digital marketing background. How important is PR in scaling a design business?
Yeah. I think PR is really important. It's part of, again, I did more digital marketing than PR at my 20-year background. So
Yeah.
obviously I believe in it. What I would say is it is something that you constantly have to be doing. You're playing
Mm,
the long game, you're planting seeds.
mm,
And those seeds might come again in a year, in 5 years, when you least expect it, but
mm,
you have to be doing it. It's very important.
mm,
I find that it is less a direct um, new business opportunity and more a credibility
mm,
credibility mark on a business.
mm,
Um, and it is both because we've had people come to us. I just had a meeting the other day with a client, a potential client that found us on Pinterest.
mm.
That is we're on Pinterest. They found us there. It couldn't be clearer that marketing is working on Pinterest.
Right.
So that is an example where it's been one to one and really clear. But
Mm,
oftentimes it's not it's not that linear. However, when somebody eventually lands on my website
mm.
and they see, wow, this company has been featured in Inc. magazine. This company
Yeah.
has been featured in Architecture. Okay, that I'm going to call that company. Maybe they hire us or maybe they
Yeah.
don't, but
Yeah.
I think it adds that incremental step
Correct.
to say they must be doing something right if they're being featured there. So it's
Mm.
important.
Great response. Great response. And tell me, what role has social media played in your growth? And what, in your view, do a lot of entrepreneurs get wrong about social media?
The number one thing they get wrong is doing it first in marketing.
Yeah.
Social media, I have a love-hate relationship with. It's mostly a love.
Hmm.
I'm grateful for it. It's a free channel. I've been able to grow my business and build my business, from a few free social media platforms. So I
Hmm.
am very grateful for it, make no mistake.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of in my industry, I'll speak specifically, I
Hmm.
see a lot of designers that put a lot of effort on Instagram, for
Hmm.
example, and they're doing beautiful content. I don't know, but my instinct tells me they're doing great getting followers. Maybe their engagement on social is great. Is that translating to the right customer?
Hmm.
I find for social media, it's good. I do it. We have to have it. It's secondary or tertiary, to be honest. When I
Hmm.
think about my ideal client, who I'm going after, they're probably on social media, but that's not going to be the place that we're going to get that direct sale from. So I
Hmm.
think a lot of entrepreneurs prioritize it first in marketing. I think it should be prioritized last.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You
But
also,
still prioritize, but
yeah,
still prioritize.
but I agree.
Yeah.
You can't do without social media.
Correct.
Your message is again very strong and clear. Prioritize it, but don't drop it.
Yes.
Um, you also say that creativity is ministry. What does this mean in your day-to-day leadership?
Yeah, to me, it's really clear. God is the creator,
Correct.
right? I'm a faith-based person.
Yeah.
And when I think of everywhere I look, the trees. I'm looking outside right now, the palm trees outside, the sun rising, the different hues when I'm on the beach and I look at the ocean, everything. Even when you look at human beings, they were created, right, by God. Everything's
Correct.
created by God. And
Correct.
our job, everybody's job, we're all creators, right?
Mm.
I Some people view creativity as really, again, linear, like an artist or a graphic designer. Of course, those are creators, but
Mm.
ultimately, you could be a scientist and a creator. You can be a lawyer and a creator. We are
Correct.
all creators. So I believe that we are called to create. I
Mm.
think a lot of people consume. A lot of people think they're called to consume.
Mm.
Consumption is not bad. It helps you, it inspires you, it's so on and so forth. But I think we're going to live our best life and we're going to
Mm.
build things that matter more if we're the ones creating.
Mm.
So to me, that's my ministry every single day,
Well
creating
said.
beautiful culture, creating a great work environment, creating a brand that attracts people, creating beautiful homes, beautiful hospitality, luxury spaces, etc.
Very well said. How has faith shaped your business decisions, especially when you have faced periods of uncertainty?
Yeah, it is the shaper of everything for me.
Mm.
Um, I just said to a friend the other day, I can't imagine how hard it would be to run a business without faith. And the point that I was making was this idea of, and I'll give the real example. We had a lead earlier this year for what would have been the biggest client we've ever had. It would have
Mm.
transformed my business in ways I get overwhelmed even saying.
Mm.
We didn't get the job. And for a couple of hours, I was a little bit upset. I grieved it and I moved on because in my
Mm.
mind, not getting it, it's God's protection. It's
Yeah.
okay, there's something better for us. That wasn't for us for whatever reason.
Mm.
I can still be upset. I can still, we're human, but I moved on, right? That's an example of I don't have to stress about it, right?
Mm.
Another example that just happened is we made a mistake for a client. It was completely our mistake. And I know I have to do the right thing. So I called the client, I told them what happened, explained, the full situation to them. I apologized. I offered to partner with them financially.
Mhm.
Can I pay for this mistake? Because it is our mistake. And
Mm.
I went into it with peace, knowing if the client gets upset and if we get fired, this is it.
Yeah.
This is what it means to run a business. But if I'm going to do the right thing, I know I can trust God. God's going to take care of it. Even if we lost that client, which we didn't. The
Mm.
client was very grateful. The client came back and it was a beautiful outcome, actually,
Mm.
much better than I was expecting. And
Absolutely.
my faith led me,
Correct.
and that's an example for my team to say, we're always going to do the right thing. We know God's going to protect us, even if we lose a client, even if we get fired from a client. We're humans, we're going to make mistakes and we have to own that and be transparent with our clients. So
Mm.
it literally
Absolutely.
shapes every aspect of my business every single day.
Mm. Amazing. My next question, Anne, is that many women struggle with scaling beyond themselves, and you seem to have built an amazing multi seven-figure firm.
Yeah.
What mindset shift is needed
Mm,
based on a lot of your own experience?
mm. This is a really easy answer. You well, there's a couple of things. The mindset shift that's needed is there is no way to scale a business alone.
Mm.
And when you have the recognition of maybe my ego could get in the way,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you recognize that, you realize it's really the people in your business that you hire, that's how you scale,
Mm.
right? If I did this by myself, I would not be where I'm at today. And
Mm.
I had this recognition actually years ago. My business used to be called my name.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, my name was Ann Weno. It was called
Mm.
Ann Weno Interior Design. And I had a moment, maybe 2 years in, that as we were growing and as I had great people around me, I realized this is not mine. First of all, it's God's, but
Mm.
second of all, I wouldn't be here, and that was many years ago. I wouldn't be here without my team.
Mm.
So this is not an Ann show. This is a team effort. And as a leader, recognizing I am not the everything of this business. In fact, I am
Mm.
just one player, and there's many players in this business that are
Mm.
the reason we're able to scale and grow. So for women, we have to get out of the mindset that we can do it all, that it is all on us, that our
Hmm.
name matters. My name didn't matter. In fact, when I changed the name and rebranded to Studio 790, do you think it's a coincidence
Hmm.
that we've had our most successful last few years? It's
How
not a
wonderful.
coincidence.
How wonderful.
People want to work with teams, and I think that's really, an important message for many women.
Great response. And I have time for two more questions.
Perfect.
What is the biggest barrier preventing women entrepreneurs from building wealth?
Oh, that's a good question. The biggest barrier is they don't believe they deserve it. And if you don't believe you deserve it,
Mm,
and if that's your mindset, then I think no matter all your efforts that you put in, it's going to be done in vain. It's not going to yield. I think when we remove that limiting belief, it is a limiting belief. I
yeah.
believe men and women, but the question is about women.
Mm,
You can generate any amount of revenue that you set your mind to.
yeah.
It takes discipline. It takes a lot of work, yes, but I believe it starts in the mind. I'm a Tony
Correct.
Robbins person. So your physiological approach to life as well as your mindset, those are the two things. And as soon as a woman can break that limiting belief that they are made for more, they are capable of every single dollar amount and they deserve it. And we don't have to be shamed by it and we don't have to be it's ours and and also the mindset of the money comes, the money goes, the money comes.
Mm,
It's not an identity thing. We can't hold that tight to it because you have to pay bills and there's expenses and so forth. But I think really it's a mindset that they don't believe that they deserve it. And I'm here to tell every woman you do deserve it, and it is possible.
fascinating. And my last question to you, Anne. What advice would you give a 40-year-old who feels it's too late to start again?
It's just the beginning. I think if you look at data, there are many examples of many entrepreneurs that started in their 40s, started in their 50s. Some of the most well-known, I think of one of my personal idols, not idol, that's a little extreme, but personal heroes, I'll say, is Julia Child.
Mm,
She didn't publish her first cookbook until she was in her late 40s, early 50s. And she's a legend in that industry. Vera Wang, one of the leading fashion designers
yeah.
of our time, really. She also didn't start. There's many, many more examples of lay people as well.
Correct.
Those are maybe some famous people, but
Mm,
I think your 40s is it's a perfect time to start, and
absolutely.
the best is ahead for
Is yet
sure.
to come. I agree.
Exactly.
And I would agree with you. After a 25-year career in the corporate world, I became an entrepreneur and founded India's second largest chain of pharmacies and
Wow.
brought GNC to India. And I
Wow.
started when I was 46. So
See, we're in
absolutely, I
good
agree.
company. We're in good company.
Absolutely. But on that
Yeah.
note, Anne, I just want to say what an amazing conversation this has been with you. There's so much to take away for every viewer and listener, but three very interesting points that I picked up from you was one powerful comment: if you want it, ask for it. Number two, I
Hmm.
just love the way how much credit you have given to your people, to your teams, without which you've repeatedly said nothing could have happened if you didn't have such strong teams with you. And the third very powerful one was the importance of faith, not just in your own life, but in the lives of your teams as well. Thank you so
That's
much for
right.
speaking to me, and all the very best to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.